Well, good morning and welcome back to another episode of Gribbly's Folly. I am Gribbly, this is my folly, and today is a Tuesday antisocial hour as opposed to the normal Sunday antisocial hour where I answer all of your comments and questions. I got so many comments and questions on the last couple of videos. I need to go ahead and answer them. Where we talked about prepping, we talked about American prepping versus doomsday prepping versus regular old poor people prepping versus UK prepping versus Cajun prepping. Thank you, Bayou Guru. And all this prepping talk, let me tell you, I really appreciate all your feedback and input, and I think we're having a really good discussion. I did have a really fun nightmare about nuclear war last night, so thanks for that. So kiddo's in the other room watching cartoons. I have to, we got to take him to the doctor today for a routine developmental follow-up. And that means my wife will come home early from work, and I'm going to get a little bit of outside time, which never happens on a Tuesday. So I'm excited about that. There's some low cloud cover. That'll be okay. So my plan is I actually went out last night to the grocery store, got a bunch of bird seed, and I've filled up the bird feeder in the bothy. My plan is to sit out there with my longest lens, take pictures of birds for an hour or two, because it's going to be nice today. It's going to be in the 50s. And of course, the next 2 days are going to be 30 and snowing. I also plan to open a new tobacco tin today. I'm excited about that. I got one bowl left of Margate, and I'm currently debating Fusilier's Ration or Old Ironsides. I got to read tobacco reviews. Okay, let's get to it, shall we? Matthew Gilman commented, instead of debating aliens, aren't you just debating lyrics to a Tool song? I never really listened to Tool, which was odd because I worked in a music store for 10 years. I mean, I listened to it in the music store because everyone else was a Tool fan. So you're going to have to lead me a little bit further down that path. John Waxaroni commented about zombies being the unprepared, people that are going to be in real trouble if and when the SH is the TF, the SH is the... If and when the SH's TF, or the Teotihuacan, whatever. When bad stuff happens, there's going to be a lot of people in trouble. And we see that happen over and over again. Katrina, 9/11, that sort of thing. I would still urge you not to consider those people zombies. They're still people. Zombies are not people. They're dead people. All right. D. Hicks saw a t-shirt, says, I'm not arguing with you, I'm just explaining why I'm right. That's the whole focus of my channel. Derek Tant. Derek, no 72-hour kit Tant commented several times. And Derek, let me tell you, you're a nurse. You got access to all kinds of stuff that us normal preppers don't have access to. You should totally put like a badass 72-hour bag together. Matthew Gilman commented, the stock market just pooped 1,100 points. Any thoughts? It's fine. That's fine. Daniel Meeks says the news parentheses propaganda cycle doesn't help the paranoia factor. That's true. That is true. It's not news anymore, y'all. It's not news. It's entertainment. And nothing entertains like fear. Moving on. I try not to read the ones that are just like, hey, really good video. But this one's good. David 35445 says, being a responsible citizen in your community is what prepping is all about. I wonder if folks in China or India prep. That's a good question. Especially, I've also been reading about, because there was the Catholic blogger that came out and said that yoga is a pagan practice. So I've been thinking about India for the past 24 hours because that's where yoga came from. And I've been thinking about yoga. And I don't know how that relates to prepping. Oh, because they have some of the highest population densities in the world. So actually, I think I just read that the worst tornado, the tornado with the highest death toll ever, hit somewhere in like eastern India. And it had the highest death toll because there's so many people packed into such terrible conditions. Yeah, so that's sad. even though Derek Tant does not have a 72-hour kit, he does love the Blues Brothers. So Derek, you have a place in my bunker any day, because I tell you what, when the fallout is drifting down from the sky, the radioactive ash is piling up on the ground like snow, I'm going to be sitting in my bunker watching Blues Brothers over, and over. Bayou Guru made a really good VR to this whole thing, and I very much appreciate it. And I had not heard the term coon ass before. I mean, other than in reference to an actual coon's ass. But apparently that is, this is me drawing from context. I did not look this up on the internet or anything, but apparently that is a term for a Cajun redneck. Is that correct? Because let me tell you, I have experience with several species of rednecks, and they all just call themselves redneck. So I'm a little confused. I myself, I think I'm more of the I'm an Appalachian redneck with like a little bit of like deep South redneck in there, because I was born in South Carolina, and so my first very formative experiences with rednecks were all deep South Carolina rednecks. And then we moved up to the mountains, and it's a whole different story up here. But I have always been able to resist the urge to name myself after something's ass. But maybe I'm missing the boat here. Maybe, I mean, what if I chose like a majestic, like giraffe ass? That's the kind of rednecks we have here in Gribbly's Folly, giraffe asses. Y'all should go watch Bayou Guru's VR. My kid is just having a great time in there. Can you hear him? He's having so much more fun than I am. Anyway, you can watch Bayou Guru's VR. And I will note, Mr. Guru, I will note that you sort of downplay the importance of prepping to a real coon ass, and then you sort of you talk about the things that you would do in an event, and they're all prepping things. So I think what this really illustrates is the difference between what smart, commonsensical people do to prepare and what the term prepper has come to mean in our society, which is batshit crazy. Although Mr. Guru does talk about robbing the pharmacy, so I'm not sure where he falls in that. Chris Parlow commented, "I see that you are a vet now. Great story." I'm not a vet, and I get this a lot, and I don't know if it's something in my demeanor, if it's the fact that I don't have any hair. I don't know exactly what it is that makes people think that I was in the service. I did not have that honor. I have been around a lot of military folk for most of my life. Put it like that. A buddy of mine claims, this is Carving Piper, a buddy of mine claims he can land a 20-pound carp with a Tenkara rod with light tippet. I would love to see that. I would love to see it. 22 long rifle from Drew the Shed. I think that's it. But John Galdieri, here's the one that I really wanted to get to. John Galdieri.
Good morning and welcome to the Gribbly's Folly Community Garden Massage Parlor.
Okay, hold on. All right, Paulie's brother, John Galdieri, said that his guma gave him a very nice Boswell's Handsome Freehand Billiard. Okay. But he wanted to know, what is the best liquor hooch libation to have before smoking a pipe? Well, John is a good friend of ours, so I would never recommend anything less than the most expensive hooch you can possibly buy, unless it's bathtub gin, in which case it has a sort of a different kind of street cred. Hey, stop that. Stop it. Cat's out there trying to kill a squirrel. All right. I personally, with a pipe, prefer scotch. If I'm just drinking to drink, bourbon. I mean, I don't drink just to drink. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not having a pipe with my booze, bourbon. But if I'm having a pipe, I feel like scotch has a softer, smokier profile. And I haven't really experimented too much lately because all this stuff gives me a headache now that I'm 36 and a half. And frankly, I don't like spending my money on things that make me feel terrible. So I don't know if the future holds much alcohol for me, really. I find that the only way I can enjoy an adult beverage is with so much water in my system that I have to pee the whole time I'm drinking it. So, Yeah, I don't really know. But my recommendation would be not to spill hot coffee on yourself. My recommendation would be Scotch. I find that a good working man Scotch is Famous Grouse. And I haven't tried Famous Grouse Black. I really want to, because Famous Grouse actually does not give me a headache. That's one of the reasons that I've stuck with it. Dewar's is crap, in my opinion. That gave me a headache back when I was in my 20s. So I don't know what they put in that, but I'm pretty sure there's some like rocket fuel or collagen from Chinese political prisoners or something like that. Anyway, I also enjoy, for working man Scotch, I enjoy McClellan's. I don't think any relation to the tobacco company. They have a series, and these bottles are in the $25 to $30 range. They have a series of like scotches from different regions, and I feel like their Islay is a pretty good Islay, and really good if you're gonna have it with like a lot bomb, with something with a whole lot of Latakia, Mr. Rutabaga, something with a whole lot of Latakia in it. Their Islay is very, very peaty. I mean, it's like smoke in a bottle. So that's a good recommend. McClellan's Islay. Other than that, I mean, Laphroaig, I'm not a big fan of Johnny Walker so much because I think it's overpriced, but those are scotches I would recommend. If you want to drink a bourbon, Buffalo Trace is where it's at. But as I've mentioned before, you should really not drink alcohol and smoke your pipe because it breaks down the slime in your, basically the mucosal tissues in your mouth are broken down by harsh alcohols, and you don't want that going on while you're puffing on something that causes cancer. But we're all about taking risks here on the Gribley's Folly channel, and I'm going to go ahead and cut my risks short on this one. Thank you for watching. This has been a fun anomaly for me on a Tuesday morning. I normally don't get to talk to you guys through the week very much. I should probably go entertain my kid, so he's just rotting his brain, watching cartoons. But I'm having so much fun producing content for you guys to rot your brains watching YouTube. It's kind of a paradox. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.